Hi everyone, ready for take two? I just managed to record this video where one of my scenes didn't have the microphone activated, so it went eerily quiet while I was talking away. So take two. Um, I'm back making a YouTube video primarily to promote a new web page I launched. I kind of soft launched it back last October. It's called Mike's MIDI page.cheapwebdesignleads.com. That's my little sole trader web design business, and I've just tacked it onto that. And MIDI and music production's my hobby, but I'm trying to find some potential ways to monetize that because we could all do with a little bit more, couldn't we? So I'll just show you it now. So I think it's on F6, and hopefully my microphone's still working. Yeah. So when you land on it, mike's-midi-page.cheapwebdesignleads.com, you can see that 11th of October, page is up to sell my scripts and offer video help via FaceTime. So yeah, that's kind of the idea, and you can see from the navigation here that it was primarily going to be a place to sell scripts I write to perform useful things with MIDI, or bundles of scripts and hardware, like you can run certain programs like G Bevins, receive MIDI, send MIDI. You can run that headlessly on a Raspberry Pi and stuff like that. So it's all early days, but that's why the page was made. Since then, I've resurrected an old thing I used to like to do, of monitoring second-hand gear in the UK, and I call that my synth deals page. So what I do is, well, it says here, this page tracks newly listed synth gear across multiple UK retailers, highlighting interesting finds, bargains and unusual gear as they appear. Join 2 subscribers to receive a daily update email. Yeah, so there's only me and a pal at the moment, but hopefully people find it useful and I can grow it. And the idea is, I don't mind saying that the sort of monetization angle is build a list and then try and get sponsors to put MPU adverts on the outgoing emails. So it will always be free for 2 or otherwise subscribers, but if you do sign up, you'll see on the emails that go every day at midday, 12 midday. There's a placeholder for a sponsorship block, which I might, if I get loads of subscribers, I might be able to sell them. Every day, we're tracking a little bit of analytics. So we're tracking yesterday's most popular deal. I ask AI, Google Flash, to comment on that from its trained perspective, and it probably does a few searches as well. It's not very good, but then in the email there's an opportunity for me to comment underneath it and correct it. Yeah, so it's a nice live page. I try and put something new on every day to make it worthwhile. It weeds itself, so old deals shouldn't hang about, because I weed it every day of old expired stuff, and it's got this report sold thing. So when there is more traffic, people can report stuff sold, and then eventually it drops off when there's been enough reports. 112 deals spotted since launch, and it's all stuff I'm interested in. Maybe you are too, and I can expand it potentially in the future. Yeah, so that's my web page, and then the next thing I wanted to talk about was the first script, which would go in this in the MIDI-aux section. So MIDI-aux is some Windows software, very old, very well established, no bugs to speak of, and it allows you to add MIDI input and output devices and route them in different ways, and you can change the routings on the fly. You can do mapping in the middle, so inputs get mapped to different outputs. You can change CCs and notes to program change. It does everything, basically everything you can think of. I've been learning it for years. One interesting thing about it is it has an API and a scripting engine, so you can use I believe it supports two languages, JavaScript or Visual Basic, and you can do more complicated things. Obviously, with scripting, it's a very high ceiling about what you can do. So, hopefully, some people might be interested in this. This is a circuit monostation. Um, yeah, um, it's got two independently sequenceable oscillators. And it's a cool little thing. The MIDI is really good, especially when you've got it connected via USB, because um, everything, every CC of every step transmits back into MIDI aux and stuff like that. It's really cool. So one limitation that's always annoyed me is that there was no live transpose of patterns. So if I play this, that's just, whoa. That's just a weird little thing that I've programmed back in the day. So what I've got here then is I've got a Korg Nano key, which also has a mod wheel button, a pitch minus and a pitch plus button, sustain. I'm not using that, but I'm using these three, but I'll explain why. So when I run the script, it boots into MIDI aux, which is one of these somewhere. No, no, must be that, and it's not appearing because I've closed it down. 1 secondo. Is it going to appear? Is it going to appear? Now then. Let me just check that's being recorded. Now we're back. Right, so you see I've chosen two inputs. The Korg Nano key, the circuit monostation. I've got two outputs, Loop B internal MIDI, which is an internal MIDI port, and circuit monostation. So they're my ins and outs. You can see the clock from the CMS there. One thing you have to do is in your routing, you have to make sure that circuit monostation isn't routed to itself, because by default MIDI aux will connect all inputs to all outputs, and you'll get a MIDI feedback loop of clock and notes that you don't want. Yeah, so that's that. And then what it's doing, I'll go back into this overhead camera, is if I play this, you'll see that I turn oscillator 2 off. We've got an octave of course tune. So it occurred to me that if I found a way to translate MIDI notes to the appropriate semitone transpositions using CCs, because they've got full CC control. So if I press C sharp, can we add a semitone of coarse transposition to both of the oscillators, which essentially gives you an octave up and an octave down, which is quite nice. Now it's not without its gotchas, because if you were using the coarse tune to achieve an interval like a fourth or a fifth, you're going to have a lot less scope because you've only got an octave. So if you transpose it an octave up higher, then you're not also going to be able to maintain that 4/4/5 interval, it'll just hit a ceiling. So it's not perfect, but it works um, to a larger extent, and and the mono station doesn't do it otherwise. Um, so yeah, so let's just have a little listen to that then. So so that's cool. If I can find a simpler example, so I'll just yeah. So what it's doing, um, it doesn't transpose the minute you press the key. It sends the MIDI CCs to affect the transposition with the next note that arrives. Um, that just made sense to me at the time. Um, and if you listen carefully, unfortunately, it isn't um, without some glide, because the circuit monostation itself imposes interpolation of controllers, um, just so everything doesn't sound jumpy when you're switching, because you can have different parameters per step. If you could have a different patch per step using patch flip. So there's an element of interpolation on this course tune as I'm sending the MIDI controllers. Um, but it is what it is. It's still useful. It does a few other things as well, because after I'd got so far, I thought of some ideas for some improvements. So the mod wheel here um, turns all of your 24 keys into program changes for patches. So that's cool. Um, the other thing it does, it uses pitch fully up and pitch fully down to make use of the session switching functionality that's available on channel 16. Um, if you pitch up, this will let you choose um, 24 sessions, and there's two ways. The pitch up is instant, so that's just switched at the end of a pattern chain into my session 1, and I can go to session 2. Or with pitch minus, I can cue session 3. So yeah, so you've got an octave of transposition up, an octave of transposition down. If you have a patch with that is using course tune for to differentiate oscillators, then it will try and maintain that offset as best it can as you transpose. But the higher you get, you're going to hit the ceiling of already being an octave round, and it's not going to work. But yeah, I think it's quite cool. And my intention with this script, I mean, in an ideal world, I would I would make it freely available for people like me that want to experiment with their gear and try new stuff. But in this day and age, uh, everybody could do with a little bit more money. So it's my intention to try and sell these scripts for a small amount of money. I'm thinking like less than £10. Um, so it might already be available on my MIDI page in under the MIDI aux script section. Uh, uh, and I don't know how it's going to work out because I don't want people to pay me and then decide that they don't like it. Or so what I might do is do a no fuss refund policy. Um, I'm thinking of using Stripe as the payment provider. So hopefully they don't mind if someone buys it and then decides it doesn't do what they wanted, that they want a refund. But anyway, that's my intention. So I've launched the page. The page was primarily to um, launch me as a consultant, uh, if possible. So if people do need help with MIDI setups or syncing or getting stuff to talk to stuff, you can contact me via my contact form in the first instance, and let's discuss if I can help you, and then if I can, appointments can be booked using cal.com. Now I've not used it yet, so I don't know how that's going to work. We might even be able to do something informal with FaceTime, but I just wanted to offer that service because it's what I'm good at. I've been doing it. I've been doing it so long that I can probably help a few people out. So the second part of the page is the this. So hopefully people find that useful, and I'll keep updating it for as long as I don't feel that it's not working, and I'm still on 2 subscribers. But yeah, that's a lot of fun for me, just to go scouring, um, looking for stuff. I think I've said most of the things I wanted to about the website and about my first script, which is the circuit monostation transposer patch changer session session changer using a cheap Nano Key 2, which is I think there are actually some available on my webpage, if I'm not mistaken. So if I search, yeah, so we got 2 Nano Key 2s available. Condition A from CEX, which is supposed to be boxed as new with all accessories, and B, which might be missing accessories and might be missing the box, and so on. So yeah, keep an eye out for that script, because it would be great to sell it for a few pennies and you know get some support uh, for just some just feel like people are interested in me continuing to experiment with the scripting side of MIDI aux. I've got loads more scripts that if if uh, if I do get some traffic, or if I do make some sales, hopefully I can add more scripts. I've done loads of that side of stuff, not just in MIDI aux, but that's the easiest way to get going. Um, but as you can see from the links on my website, there are other types of scripting, like bone boxes, MIDI uh, MIDI solutions, event processors. I've I've got two. Well, I've got 2 bone boxes and I've got 1 event processor. I've done loads of scripting, so I can add them to this site. The last thing I wanted to do before I go is I just wanted to give you a sneak peek of a drum machine that I made years ago. It's It's in a really old discontinued 32-bit VSTI or standalone program called VAS Modular. What happened was, uh, years ago I owned, before Behringer started cloning the RD8 TR808 with the RD8, there was a German very close clone of an 808 called an Acid Lab Miami, made by I think the chap's name was Klaus. But I, I bought an Acid Lab Miami, and I really liked it. For whatever, I can't remember why now, but I decided I needed to sell it. So I tried to I tried to capture its soul in VAS Modular, and VAS Modular's I guess it's like VCV Rack is now, where you can get down to sort of little logic like level, like ors and ands and nans, and you can. I somehow made it playback samples of my Miami. That's not easy to say. Using like round robin. So take the um, take the bass drum for example. That has 8 unaccented round robin hits and 8 accented round robin hits, and it's got uh, the same for different decay levels of the bass drum. So you can you can make the bass drum decay longer. So if I just play you a pattern. A bit loud. So it I think it sounds okay because it's round robin samples. It sounds quite like a Miami. I can't remember now. It's been ages since I had it. But what I've done is, um, you don't have to use the VAS pattern sequencer, which is quite nice, because you can choose patterns at random, or you can go song mode and you could actually put a whole song into here. And this is just using one sequencer, and what I've got 8 sequencers piped into it, and you can real time switch between them. So sort of like this. This is pattern sequencer 1. This is pattern sequencer 2. And whenever we want, we can switch back in. So you can have a right laugh, and there's 8 of these. And I haven't got these. Oh, some of them are set up, but you take my meaning, and it's got. You can also trigger it from MIDI notes. I mean, I'll go into this more in a later video, because this is something that I would like to sell for a small amount as well. It's going to be very, very few people interested in it because it's a 32-bit program. But as I say, it can run standalone if you can find a program to install. Because as I say, it's discontinued, but we'll open that can of worms later. But yeah. you can like mute parts on the fly as well. It's got MIDI controllers to mute parts on the fly, and if I just set it going while sync's on, I should be able to play it at the same time as the CMS. So that was a bit of a ramble, but hopefully I explained the plan and what I'm trying to do, and I hope some people are slightly interested. I'm gonna attempt it anyway, even if I'm my only traffic. I'll sell scripts to myself. But yeah, so visit my visit Mike's dash MIDI dash page .cheapwebdesignleads.com, and you'll be able to see if any of my scripts do become purchasable if you're interested. Um, Use my contact form. Talk to me about it beforehand before you're thinking about parting with any money. I might even let you try it. I don't know. Might end up giving it away. I don't know. Um, use the comments in YouTube as well, so we can discuss it that way if you prefer not to go into email. If 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 stuff like this is useful, try and support me, and I'll keep doing it. And as I say, I've got loads of Mad Professor experiments using different languages, different hardware, making gear do stuff it wasn't necessarily designed to do. Yeah, and I'll try and get that drum machine finished and do an actual proper video on that drum machine, because it took ages. Uh, I recorded all of the individual hits, all the different knob settings, so like snares got different snappy settings down to just the hollow tom-like sound, and it's fun to play. More people than just me should probably use it, so I'll try and make a video about that. Hopefully this takes recorded okay, and I don't cut to scenes where the microphone doesn't work. So I'm going to say goodbye. I hope to see you soon, and hopefully it's all recorded okay. Thanks for your time. Cheers.